So I'm here with John Wheeler from South Carolina Department of Health. I had the privilege of working a little bit with John over the last year or so on a new project that is kind of exciting. I think it's a guidance booklet that AFDO has developed. Most of the work was done by John, and we'll explain some of the other people that were involved. But it's a guidance booklet that really gets in depth to special processes at retail. There was a time, retail grocery stores just sold packaged foods, and then all of a sudden they got into manufacturing, and then restaurants was just, service to customers, and now they're involved in manufacturing. And so we believe that some in-depth guidance was needed, not only for regulators, but for industry as well. So John, you and I hooked up,
Yep.
and you approve all of the HACCP plans in South Carolina. And to me, when I heard that, I thought that's an enormous task to have. And you also got involved with culinary institutes who were doing cook chill and sous vide and things like that. So we decided to do this guidance. But the first thing we did is we conducted a survey of the states. Tell us about that.
Yeah. So that survey, we needed to find out, first of all, what were the perceived strengths, perceived weaknesses in our retail food regulatory system with regard to special processes. There were some results that surprised us and concerned us. One of those that struck me immediately right in the face was that when we asked the state jurisdictions to provide an assessment on a scale of 1 to 5, how they perceive their strength in understanding and applying regulation to the special processes, with a 1 being we need help and 5 being we're proficient. The average score basically worked out to 72%. That was concerning. Another question was, would your jurisdiction be able to provide assistance to another jurisdiction that was struggling with a particular process? The score was much lower than that 72%. Putting that together with one other result, the question was, who is approving the HACCP plans in your jurisdiction? There was a significant number of jurisdictions out of that 31 respondents that indicated that inspectors are approving these plans in the field. And so that raised a serious question, if we are not feeling thoroughly competent in our jurisdiction, what competency do the HACCP reviewers have to actually do a critical review, understanding the process they're looking at, which may have curveballs thrown, where it's not a standard process, they're doing some things differently. How well can they really accurately understand the details of that process and properly apply HACCP principles to that process?
Let's talk about some of the individuals who helped us with this, because there's a number of special processes, and you find individuals that are particularly well schooled in certain processes and maybe not in other ones. So we had to get a number of people involved, including academia.
Right. Starting, a little bit about our work group, we had 2 local jurisdictions. We had 1 other state jurisdiction represented, but then we also pulled in expertise from some of the academic institutions, some names you would know, some others you might not know. But we sought out expertise in particular with the acidification processes, including fermentation, as well as curing and preservation of meats. So we actually had 4 different academics working with us on those pieces of the document in particular.
Yeah. We should mention that there is an FDA course, the 312, which NEHA provides training, and it's really a great course. But this guidance booklet really goes beyond that, and is really much more in depth with some of these processes.
Yeah, it does. And what we did, we started from the 2014 version of AFDO's Retail Food Establishment Guide for developing a HACCP plan. But we tried, first of all, to simplify it. We wanted it to be friendly to industry while at the same time providing necessary resources for regulators. So the way we took this was slightly a different direction from the original version. We wanted to provide something that would be more complete for how do you assess particular reduced oxygen packaging process, whether it's vacuum packaging, modified atmosphere, sous vide cooking. We wanted to provide a lot more guidance on, the ins and outs of that process. ROP cook chill. We did also want to update to the 2022 food code. And again, with the curing processes, the acidification processes, a lot more detail was needed that we sought to provide to help regulators assess those processes, but also in an industry-friendly way to help industry operators understand the hazards and the types of controls that are required in those processes to properly manage the identified significant potential hazards.
That's a significant point about this guidance document, because a lot of the guidance documents that AFDO puts together and even some other organizations are really geared to the regulator who are our major constituents. But this one can well be used by industry that are involved in these processes.
I agree. And, honestly, when we try to present it at a level that is as usable as possible for industry, then we also provide regulators the help they need.
Absolutely.
That was absolutely essential, and that was, central to our thinking in developing this manual.
So let's talk about some of the processes where we really get in depth in it. For instance, the curing process.
Okay. We had some significant help from NC State University. Basically, we took a manual that AFDO had written in 2014 for curing of sausages. We pared it down to the information that retail operators would need. But then we asked NC State to take that information and reorganize it and provide guidance on not only preparing a cured, fully cooked sausage, but also fermented sausages, cured whole muscle products like hams, knowing that there are a variety of processes out there. Curing of hams where there's no cook step, for example. What do you do with that? What if it is a curing process, so-called, as industry would call it, that does not involve the use of cure salt, where there's no cook step?
Sure.
What do you do with that? So these are variations that we are actually seeing in retail. We needed to be able to provide the right guidance, both to regulators and to industry, to properly manage the hazards, given those nuances in the variations that the different processes we're seeing.
And the guidance booklet has templates that they can model and use.
Right. We've provided 13 templates for the core of the HACCP plan for different processes, as well as for the prerequisite programs that would be required for, depending on particular process. Everything's there as a template. In some cases, we provided some model policies where it's pretty much echoing the content of the food code, but we have to know that the right policies are in place.
This isn't something we put together overnight, is it, John? How long have we been at this?
It's been a 2.5-year party, Joe. 2.5-year party. We've had our noses to the grindstone for 2.5 years, and a lot of work.
We're really near the end now. We've got some final comments that have come in from FDA, and we're going to go through those. And by this fall, I believe AFDO will have that. I believe AFDO may be providing the document to all the jurisdictions, and it's 300 and some page document.
300 some odd pages of special process HACCP goodness.
You're going to love it, folks. So look forward to that this fall coming from AFDO.
Absolutely. We could not be more excited. A lot of great resource material there, including material on processes for which we've not had guidance in the past.
That's right.
I'm really excited in particular about the content on fermentations. Mold fermentations, for example. I have customers now who are working on HACCP plans for making products like koji and shoyu. We've not had any guidance for that in the past. So I'm really, really excited about the content we're able to provide in this new manual.
And for those inspectors or those teams or those individuals that have to approve HACCP plans, and that is a burden. That is a burden to do that, to make sure those things are exact and right. This will be a great document for them.
I really hope too, Joe, that it will be used as a training manual. I think it's a valuable resource towards that end.
Yeah. Well, thank you, John.
Buddy, I really appreciate all your collaboration on
You
this.
got
It
it.
has been an honor to work with you.
You're a
A
good
pleasure.
man.